Hi everyone, I'm Shelly and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. Today's topic is relevant all the time, but it is especially relevant within this past 2 years because we're going to talk to you today about when the world overwhelms you. You know what? It is hard to be awake in 2021. Yeah, it was hard to be awake in 2017, 2018, 2019, but I have never felt such a weight on my shoulders as I have this past year with everything that is coming crashing down around us. And I know that I'm not the only one that's feeling like this. They're not calling it the Great Awakening for nothing. And while it is certainly an honorable duty for us to try to let people in on what we see, to let people know the way that we are being manipulated and lied to and socially engineered, we also have to realize that we are human. And sometimes when we feel the stress of everything coming down on us, it's okay to take a step back and to just ground yourself in other things. Now, does that mean that we are going to completely ignore everything that is going on around us? No, not completely. But I am going to say that sometimes it is necessary to separate yourself from the things that are going on, at least for a certain period of time, so that you yourself have the mental stability that you will need in order to press on and to be that soldier for what we believe is right. Now, for me, when I take a step back, and this has been happening a lot, I tend to really back off of social media. We are being so manipulated through social media. Just you hear one thing from one side and one thing from the other side. And it is only natural that most people will just pick one side or another. And we know, well, at least most of us, well, okay, some of us know that this whole left-right paradigm is created to get us fighting with each other so that we do not see the bigger picture of what is actually happening around us. And I know this. I know that they're doing this on purpose, but yet I still find myself getting drawn in because we do all have our own opinion. We have our own morals, especially, if you are a believer, you will have those biblical morals and you will tend to choose one side over another. And being drawn in like that and constantly battling other people is not going to be helpful in the long run. And it certainly isn't helpful for our own mental health. So I think that those of us who are trying to wake people up, who are trying to let everyone know what's going on, we also need to take time to just look at how we feel or understand how we're feeling. And we've got to understand that if we ourselves are not doing well up here, we're not going to be able to get our message out the way that we want to. So sometimes that looks different for different people. For me, what I'm finding is that I find so much strength in the Lord, reading God's word, praying. We are supposed to cast our cares upon him. And I will tell you what, I cannot even fathom how people can be awake in this day and age and not have strength in God, because that is foundational to me. It has brought me such peace, and I just can't imagine what it would be like to have all of this weight on my shoulders, all of this knowledge of what's happening, and to not have that strong foundation of what is true. And so I pray that everyone who knows what's going on, but who doesn't know the Lord, that they would come to him, that they would pray for him to reveal himself to them. Because really, you're not going to have the strength that you need if you don't have the foundation of the one who created all things. Now, I think that there are some other things that we can do, though, when we feel the world overwhelming us. One of the most important things, pull back from social media. Don't let it drag you in. We're being bombarded with nothing but negative stories, negativity, and it works on you after a while. And it doesn't even matter what platform you're on. If you are following any of the stories that are happening, at least with all of the related things to the past year or two, you are going to inevitably get stressed out. And so if you find yourself doing that, if you find yourself getting anxiety from these things, cut yourself off. don't go on the social media, at least for a time being. And again, it doesn't mean that you're ignoring the things that are happening, but it means that you are giving yourself a much needed mental break. A lot of times for me, that might even mean vegging out on like brainless TV. And sometimes it's usually something like Monster Quest, something that doesn't require much thinking. And I always thought cryptids were cool, so I watch stuff like that. It's not political. It doesn't remind me of anything that is going on right now, but it is something that allows my brain to have a much needed break, my soul to have a much needed break from the things that are happening around me. This is the time that we need to not only find rest in God, but we need to find rest in spending time with our families. Your families need you. And if you are breaking yourself down, trying to be that warrior that we all really do want to be, sometimes our families get left behind. And they're the ones that need us. They're the ones directly around us, especially if you have children. They need you. Take that time, step back, and just relish your family. Relish your own little inner circle, and just realize that in everything that is happening right now, as hard as it is to understand, we have got to always keep reminding ourselves that ultimately God is in control. His will be done. And one day, the people who are perpetrating all of these things, they will face judgment. That's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one either here or over on Instagram. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And I hope you have a great day.